And again, we are going live again. Just give me a second, people. Okay, so now with that out of the way, let's get into today's topic. Again, following this guy called Eric Derby. Now, Eric Derby is a flat earther who believes dinosaurs never existed. And we've already covered one of his first dinosaur rants. Um, what was it? Dinosaurs and Evolution Debunked. But I found he made another one before that. So we'll go have a look at that before getting into dinosaurs never existed and the science behind science or science fiction. So, I said he had one about debunking evolution in theory, but again, he didn't actually do that. So, ah. And while I'm finding that, I'll just play a song while I'm there, while I'm waiting for this. Epic. So there we go.
Hey, hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Gracias por ver mi video. Espero
That's
que les haya gustado mi versión del sistema principal de los
channel.
platíbulos. Creo que fue lanzado a finales de los 80s, pero yo
I've
sinceramente
already
no
done that.
alcancé a verlo. Pero veo que hay mucha
Anyway, I understand what he was saying. It sounded like he was talking Mexican, so I don't understand what that dude was saying, but he definitely did some awesome music. Now, whoop, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back into the bullshit when it comes to dinosaurs and not existing, according to CAD, Christians Against Dinosaurs, and also some flat earthers who believe the same bullshit rhetoric and dogma that dinosaurs never existed. Hence the name, the title of Eric's. Okay, this was actually his first video, and I played his second video. So now I'm sort of like going in reverse here. So I played his second video first, and now I'm going back to play his first video before we get into his third video. and this is the second part 2 of all this. So we'll see how we go to with this. Oh, here we go. Here we go. And we're starting off again with Charles Darwin. Here we go. Let's get back into it.
The class Dinosauria was originally defined by Sir Richard Owen of the Royal Society and Superintendent of the British Museum Natural History Department in 1842.
Yes, but the actual theory of dinosaur has been around, or dinosaur-like creatures has been around millennia, years and years, mate. Way before he even coined the name Dinosauria. Again, refer to giants, dragons, ogres. Look it up, dude. A lot of these mythological creatures that we know today from myths and legends stirred from possible dinosaur sightings or finding remnants of their fossils in rock formations. But hey.
Or, in other words, the existence of dinosaurs was first speculatively hypothesized by a knighted museum head coincidentally
Wrong.
in the mid-19th century during the heyday of evolutionism, before a single
That's
dinosaur fossil
bullshit!
had ever been found.
As I already stated on the last one, dude. As I already stated, that's bullshit. That's bloody bullshit. I already stated dinosaurs were discovered way before evolution came about. Mate, dinosaurs and discovery of fossilized remnants of prehistoric animals were discovered long before Sir Richard Owen coined the name dinosaur. Long before even as far as the 13th century, when the name dragon or Dracos or Dracon or Dragoon was discovered, mate. Dude, prehistoric snakes, prehistoric crocodiles, prehistoric large reptiles were considered dinosaur or dragons, and again falling back into the concept of this reptilian looking creature being discovered. And also, again, stop showing screenshots of Jurassic World and Jurassic Park. It's not helping your case, dude. Whatever.
The Masonic media and mainstream press worldwide got to work hyping stories of these supposed long-lost animals, and then, lo and behold, 12 years later, in 1854, Ferdinand Vanderveer Hayden, during his exploration of the upper Missouri River, found proof of Owen's theory. A
Yeah.
few unidentified teeth he mailed to leading paleontologist Joseph Leidy, who several years later declared them to be from an ancient, extinct Trachodon dinosaur.
We've already discovered all this, dude. You're basically repeating yourself in your first video with your second video. That's just a rehash, dude. We've already covered that shit. Okay, so I'm going to go back and have a look at back to the other points. Now, again, he has so many. Oh, by the way, since you're claiming to be Christian, Eric, what's the idea of associating yourself with like Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, and all these other religions, right? What's the point of that? What's the point in trying to combine your religious or beliefs into one fundamental concept? That seems moronic. So we had the evolution one, and we had that other one where dinosaurs never existed and debunks evolution, which is basically just a repeat video. Please tell me, dude, that all your videos aren't going to be the same thing repeated over and over again, because that's really, really annoying. If that is the case, just basically re-uploading the same video over and over and over again. Hey, I've re-released videos myself at least twice, or released it slightly different when I did mine, right? So I can't really actually say that you should stop repeating yourself, dude. But whatever. Yeah. We're not talking Star Wars today, thank you. So that, I think that was his last video, dinosaurs, science or fiction. But we'll go to the what was classed as his second video when it's actually his third. So let's get into it. Please don't be any more of the same bullshit. Just get on with it. Here we go.
Thanks to several of my computer-savvy supporters helping scour the Internet Archive, we have now found and can present Robin Kofid's article, The Dinosaurs Never Existed, from his deleted GVE News website.
Alright.
If anyone watching this has not already seen my more comprehensive and conclusive documentary, Evolution and Dinosaurs Debunked, please stop this video and watch that one first. Link in the description box.
Done.
In this video, I will reveal one of the greatest hoaxes in human history. But first, a short explanation of what we're dealing with. Paleontology, the study of the origin and development of life. Paleontology is the study of life's formation and development. The paleontological scientific approach is explained on Wikipedia as follows. Quote, when attempting to explain earlier phenomena, paleontologists and other scientists of history construct a set of hypotheses addressing the causes and then look for a smoking gun, a piece of evidence that indicates that one hypothesis is a better explanation than others. Sometimes the smoking gun is discovered by happy coincidence during another investigation. This explanation is entirely consistent with the way paleontology works in practice.
Not really.
But it should be obvious to anyone capable of critical thinking that the paleontological establishment can control which hypotheses will be constructed. This is done through textbooks and the curriculum. In this way, students are brainwashed into a pseudo-reality controlled by the text material and the teacher's authority.
Yeah.
A short practical example. A random dental bone.
Here we go. Well, I said, dude, don't repeat yourself, but here we go again. This is his third video, and he's repeating himself yet again. Oh my god. Alright, dude. First of all, let's get back up to that whole thing about the school stuff, yeah? Back to that thing about the school stuff, about reading, because we do have some of that, even some of that here actually somewhere. You know, I said those kind of books and things of dinosaurs, yeah? We look up the things on, where is it? Yeah, some quizzes about dinosaurs and stuff, yeah? From, like, school-type stuff. Yeah, I hear you. But, dude, the concept about teaching kids about dinosaurs, whether it is from a movie like Jurassic Park or some real stuff, well, what's classed as real at the in the dinosaur scheme of things, dude, the fact of the matter is that okay, you call that indoctrination, yeah? Okay, explain to me, sir, how is it that the Bible and the Bible, the Quran, all other religious books have been removed from universities and schools and stuff, right? Universities and schools and stuff, right? Because people were afraid that the Bible and the Quran and the Torah and all these things were causing a religious indoctrination. Now, of course, you could say again that through science itself is a form of a religion, I suppose. I mean, we do have a religion of Scientology, so take that as you will. But the concept of again, it just feels like you're just throwing the same. It feels like you're picking up the same rock, right? Feels like you're picking up the same rocks and throwing them at the picking up the rocks and throwing them at the atheists and the non-Christians, saying, there you go, you see, how dare you say that we're indoctrinating by preaching on the streets and preaching in the churches? How do you say that we're teaching children to be indoctrinated by our religion and our beliefs when you yourselves in the academia is doing the exact same thing by teaching children inaccurate history with the idea of teaching that dinosaurs existed? That's your hypothesis and your theory, yes? Same thing with teaching evolution, yes? Okay. But here's the thing, right? For some reason, the theory of evolution does not have the same effect as other religious stuff. I don't know why that is, dude. It seems like people do get worried about religion when it comes to things in schools. I don't understand that one either, dude. Maybe they're afraid of, kids becoming, religious obsessed and having fights in the schoolyards more, or having fights on religious debates and things, and causing drama based on religion. I don't know. But I do hope that at some point, though, that schools and universities could open up a teaching on religions, and open up a gateway so that the peoples themselves can have a look at each and every religion and then decide for themselves which one they'd like to be a part of. That would be a bit more of an open-minded and open gate to suggest to everyone, what do you want to be a part of? Do you want to be a Christian? Do you want to be a Muslim? Do you want to be and when those students accept whatever religion they want to be a part of, then it's up to them. It's not up to the academia. It's not up to the people. Just they teach or talk about or teach what those specific religions believe. And then from there, the students on their own can decide what they want to do. Or the parents or whoever else can decide what's best for their child or teenager, or the teenager themselves come of age and they can decide for themselves. And when you get to university and academia, higher up in the university stuff, that you being an adult, being in university, you can decide for yourselves which thing you'd like to do and which seems more, agreeable or palatable to the person's of choosing. That's being more grown up. Now, again, me being a Christian myself, I know that sounds a bit hypocritical because I believe Jesus is the only way. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. But then again, God himself and Jesus, they did not judge people, right? They just said, look, there's heaven and hell. It's your choice. You're going to send yourself to hell if you choose that path. That's up to you. That's your choice, whether to go to heaven or hell. That's your choice. God does not send people to hell. But anyway, before I continue, I just need to take a little bit of a breather. Just give me a second, people. There we go. Got some cordial now. Just in case people think it was wine or something else. No, it's actually red cordial. Can't drink Coke all the time. As much as I'd like to. Oh, just wait a second. All right. Okay, back. Yeah, I'm back now. Okay, so back to business, ladies and gentlemen. So it's still discussing the bones and discovery, but he's repeating himself about these teeth that were discovered, and he sent it to some of these bones got sent to a university or another person who was interested in fossils, apparently. All right, let's go.
An excavation site, and from this dental bone, the rest of the skeleton is guessed at. We are not kidding about this. The entire dinosaurian field of the paleontological program is a sham. It was the English paleontologist Richard Owen who in 1842...
Again, dude, back to that point, about that previous point, Yes, sometimes they find only fragments of like part of the face or part of the jawline. I mean, even what was it? They've now discovered a new bit of tyrannosaur. Like they only found this section of the jawbone here on a tyrannosaur from Mexico recently. So again, whilst they still find fragment parts, they know what fragments come from because they actually have found larger pieces. It's not like all the parts are fragmentary. Sometimes they start off with a fragment, they only find fragments, then as they start digging at the site more and more and more and find more and more bones and more bone fragments, like I said, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. They eventually end up putting a lot more pieces back together. But anyway, here we go.
Coined the term.
Yes, 1842 was when the name dinosaur or terrible. Oh, you got it wrong. It's terrible lizard, not terrible reptile. It's in the genus of Reptilia, but it's called terrible lizard, not terrible reptile. Get it right, douche, for starters. And another part is, yes, you are correct. The term dinosaur was only coined in 1842, but giant dinosaurid-like animals have been discovered throughout all entire around of history. That's where you get the stories of ogres, legends of ogres, dragons, um, giants. Some people even hypothesized that some of these dinosaur bones they discovered, some of the leg bones and femurs, to belong to some of the giants that were discovered in the Bible, like Goliath and the like, right? So again, dude, a lot of the myths and legends from dinosaur bones came from. I'm not saying that Goliath didn't exist, but what I am saying is that there's a lot of the dinosaur bones of like super giants based around, like I said, that kind of person and giant people. Some of those bones like that, people thought that because they look similar, they based it on that. They originally based a lot of the bones that they found on giant people. They thought some of the dinosaur bones were originally giant people, but then their opinion changed when they found that the bone structure had seemed to be more in common with Animalia and less hominid. So take that as you will. You may continue.
Dinosaur. The phenomenon was then gradually promoted in the mainstream press all over the world, which told of these dinosaur creatures,
Those are recent movies, not past movies, douche.
In 1854, a few years after the word dinosaur was invented and the concept presented in popular articles in the biggest American newspapers, the first dinosaur was discovered in North America by fossil hunter Ferdinand Vanderveer Hayden. There had been no reported discoveries of even a single dinosaur bone in North America prior to 1854.
You're repeating yourself.
But that didn't stop the paleontologists. In the following period, finding dinosaur bones suddenly became a popular pastime. North America became home to the most ferocious and was a true wonderland to dinosaur bone hunters. According to The Dinosaur Project, a book by paleontological dig journalist Wayne Grady, the ensuing dinosaur rush in North America after 1854 was a mecca for dinosaur bone fraud. The book describes the years from 1870 to 1880 as a period in North America where, quote, some of the most underhanded shenanigans in the history of science were conducted.
This shit, dude.
This decade has since been dubbed Bone Wars, when the notorious Edward Drinker Cope and Othniel Charles Marsh fought each other in their quest to find the most interesting dinosaurs.
You've already been there, done that.
Most people believe that dinosaur skeletons displayed in museums consist of real dinosaur bones.
Right.
This is not the case. Paleontologist, advisor for Steven Spielberg in the making of Jurassic Park.
Now, again, as stated, some of the dinosaur bones that you see are cast molds of what they found in the rock. Some of the ones that you see in the rock, like I said before, we've already discussed this, dude. At the back of a museum, they have giant sheets like this, giant tables like this, and they have bones on top of that plate, and they just slide it in and out to these giant cabinets out the back of the museum. They even have some of these giant cabinets filled to the brim in a vault, in like a bank world-class like bank-like vault, right? So a lot of the things are really, really rare. Again, as I said before, and I'll state again, some of the bones are so fragile, even some could be even light sensitive, they might even just crumble with light. Certain UV rays from sunlight or any other things could cause damage to that fossil or whatever, yeah? You know, like oils, like certain oils from fingertips or stuff like that could damage the rock, right? There could be many things that could cause damage to the fossil. So, what do the paleontologists and museums do? They make replicas and put the replica fossils in the museum as an example of what they have got in the vault. Now, dude, as I said before, if you don't believe that, go take your phone, go into the museum, ask to go see it. Remember not to have your flash on. Go take a picture like so, like this. Go blip, blip, clip, take the photo. I don't know if it actually did that. Actually, come think of it. Okay, here we go again. Take the photo. Then go back out of the museum, go back out from the foyer area. Ask to go see some of these fossils in the back room. Again, don't use flash. Go take a photo again. Snap again, like so. And once you've done that, once you've taken photos of both sets from the ones that are on the ones from in the tray and also the ones on display, like you're seeing here, once you've seen it, compare them, overlap them through digital editing and see if they actually match. If they don't match, then maybe you have got something to support your theory that some of these replicas are fakes. And I mean, not just fake, but being plaster casts or whatever, but also fakes in not even resembling the original bone or fossil which they alleged they came from. So again, dude, I suggest go to your local museum, ask to see some of the dinosaur things in the vault, and ask to take photos, but not to show the flash. Take photos of some of the bones. Go back out to the foyer area. Take some photos of the molds here. Then once you've taken photos of the molds, go back home, go to your computer, laptop, or whatever. Go back here. Then overlap the photos to see if they actually match or they don't. And if they don't match, there is a problem. Prove your theory to be accurate, sir, before you go spouting rhetoric dogma based on your own religious beliefs, sir. Otherwise, you're no better than the people that you're accusing of. My point. But again, you're still repeating yourself, dude. Stop it. Stop repeating yourself. Just put all your shit in one basket and get on with it, dude.
Host of the Discovery Channel's documentaries about dinosaurs, Don Lessam, defends this practice by claiming that dinosaur bones are too rare to put on display.
Well, yep, we've already covered that.
Quote, in museums, bones are cleaned and cast, and the copies attached to one another to make skeletons. Yep. The real bone is too rare to put out on display.
Indeed!
The real bones are incarcerated in thick vaults to which only a few select highly...
Yes! But no, not just for a selective academia to go see it. But yes, they put the real fossils in the vaults. You want to know why? Because if they put some of those real fossils out on display, someone could come along, go smash into some of those glass cabinets or something, or reach across some of those figures, reach across, oh, thank you very much, I'll just take that, and they'll go and take some of those parts of the fossil, right? And then they'll go sell it. And once all the heat's died down and people have forgot that those parts went missing or stolen, when the heat's died down, then they go to eBay or wherever and flog it off and resell it as a fossil, right? That's what I'm saying. There has been cases where people have been breaking into museums and stealing some of this rare stuff, right? It has been done. My point, dude, is a lot of the really rare stuff, whether it be fossils, archaeology through old artifacts like statues, shields, heads of arrow tips, or spears. A lot of that stuff, even old ancient artwork on rocks and things that are stored in vaults as well. It's not just fossils, right? There's lots of stuff that's super rare that have been stored in some of these vaults in museums, okay? It's not just all that stuff, but a lot of the stuff, again, is stored in trays, stored on trays, and then stored in filing, like I said, like a filing cabinet type things. And then, like I said, you slide the thing in and out like you do a filing cabinet, and you pick out what you need to go diagnose. And no, it's not limited to what they won't do. They won't say what the museum won't say. Oh, you could say, oh, I'll take this home with me. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll just take this home with me. I'll just show it down. And they'll say, no, you can't take the fossil. You can't take it away out of the museum. You cannot take the fossils from the vault out to research it for yourself outside of the museum's authority or outside the museum. Ask him if you want to do some research on that Pacific fossil. Ask him, look, I want to do research on this thing. I'm a civilian. I'm a person who wants to research some of these things to see what they are, see if they're real, and do a few little tests. Not on their fossils, except for maybe the fossils they have or fragment of bones or things they have in the gift shop. Go to the gift shop, buy some of the fossils from the gift shop or fragments of bones and fossils and things from the gift shop. Go back to the science and say, look, I bought this from the gift shop. Can we run some tests in the laboratory here at the museum or something? Because I want to test some of these things to test it under certain conditions to see whether or not, what it comes back as. Or not ask the museums if they will help you support or fund some of the ideas of doing some research, your own research into the fossil community. Why not? Be a good idea, dude. It might be awesome to actually do that. To ask some and see what the feedback is. I might even do that myself sometime with some of the fossil collection I have. Ask and see if they'll do some research on some of my bones, even that other brown one I just had just then. And do some research on it. It'll be fascinating to find out what information can be learned from those fossils. And study them. Because if you have your own fossils, dude, if you buy them from Gem and Mineral Club or like I said, the gift shop, some of the actual acclaimed fossils, then you got no debate whether they be real or not. Especially if they say it's replica or not. They say it's like a real one. It's about $500. Pay $500, and there you go. You got yourself a fossil. And after that, go through the labs and test it out to see if it really is what you say it is. Because you said before, dude, that all these animal stuff is just other animal bones, like an elephant bone or a whale bone or whatever, that's been just rearranged to look like another animal. Like, oh, yeah. This was a whale and a giraffe slapped together, for an example. All right, dude. If you want to put a sauropod dinosaur as a giraffe and a whale slapped together, all right then, dude. Go get a DNA test on a bone fragment that's claimed to be from a sauropod dinosaur in the museum, in the Gem and Mineral Club or the Gem and Mineral shows or whatever, and be a fossil from that and get tested. Or even go to, like I said, the store, the museum store, and see if you can buy a little bit of the fossil and then get it tested and run tests on it, either from the museum itself or from another establishment or university to run tests on it, or find a way of running itself, and then upload that video to YouTube and see where you get to from there, dude. I mean, it's not that hard to do this stuff, dude. If you really are invested in this thing, to debunk the thing, and like I said, just get DNA tested. Prove that it isn't legit. Do it. Just do it. Just do it, dude. Stop fucking around. If you want to debunk dinosaurs, prove your point and get on with it. Just saying.
Placed researchers hold a key, which means that no independent researcher has ever handled a Tyrannosaurus rex bone.
Bullshit.
When people unaffiliated with the paleontological establishment attempt to gain access in order to study these dinosaur bones, they are met with refusal upon refusal.
That's bullshit. No, you can't. I am a person who is a civilian here in Australia, and I've gone to an Australian museum and asked if I could go see some of the things in the vault, right? And I got to see some fossils in the vault, right? Of Oh, I can't remember what the name of it was. That Supervenator or something. Like there was that giant a giant monitor lizard, the Supervenator or something. I saw some of those bones, right? So,
The world of movies and paleontology are like Siamese twins.
mm,
People's view on the existence of dinosaurs is based not on firm evidence, but on Hollywood-fixated artistic impressions.
mm,
Documentaries colorfully illustrate each dinosaur's characteristics like colors, weight, and muscle
it's
mass,
only theory.
but Don Lessem admits that this is pure
Yeah,
guesswork.
speculation.
Consider, for instance, the question of how much these dinosaurs weigh. Says Don Lessem, quote, "Scientists don't know how much dinosaurs weighed. They don't like to make those estimates."
Dude, again, from either these replica dinosaurs or some of the sculpture dinosaurs actually put on display, the weight of the actual fossil can give a rough estimate of how much the actual animal weighed. So yes, they do know how much some dinosaurs actually weigh. That's bullshit. What your mate told you. Just saying, dude. That's bullshit.
Because they don't have enough information, but everyone wants them to
Whatever.
guess. Overall, several millions of dollars have been spent promoting the existence of dinosaurs through movies, TV, magazines, and comics.
Rightio.
The Land Before Time, Jurassic Park, BBC's various dinosaur documentaries,
Walking
etc.
with dinosaurs.
National Geographic, which is owned by Rupert Murdoch's News Corp.
Yeah,
News Corp also owns 20th Century
yeah.
Fox, the makers of the Ice Age franchise. Universal Studios, who made Jurassic Park and The Land Before Time. These productions are owned by
So,
Comcast, whose main shareholders include J.P. Morgan and the Rothschild-owned investment company Vanguard.
so,
Discovery Channel is owned by Discovery Communications, who also distribute BBC's TV shows. N.M. Rothschild and Sons Limited are financial advisors to Discovery Communications.
yeah.
According to Don Lessem, it is not unthinkable to assume that only around 2,100 dinosaur bone sets have been discovered worldwide, and out of these, only incomplete Tyrannosaurus rex bone sets have been found. These dinosaur bone sets have never formed a complete skeleton.
Finally, you've got a replica of a Tyrannosaur. Hooray! Last time I saw this, he had a fucking Carnosaur. At least you've learnt, buddy. At least you've learnt something. There you go. There you go. You're starting to learn. You're starting to catch on, dude. But again, back to the point. Oh, by the way, the wrists are wrong. They're pronated the wrong way. Then again, they could be that right way now. If any paleontologist asked me, which way did the actual arms face? Right side or is that the right way around, or is it supposed to be the other way around? I'm not exactly sure if that's supposed to be the right way around. But other than that, again, we've got no problems here, dude. You're starting to get there. You got a Tyrannosaurid like one right here. Finally, you're starting to catch on, dude. Maybe you are starting to learn something after all. You're not as thick as what I thought. Not as stupid as what I thought. Anyway, continue.
But from these incomplete bone sets, paleontologists hypothesize the appearance of the whole skeleton,
Rightio.
which they have then modeled in plastic.
Yeah.
If thousands of long necks and large carnivorous reptiles had really roamed Earth, we wouldn't only have found 2,100 dinosaur bone sets, but millions of bones, with ordinary people tripping over them when digging in their vegetable patches.
As I already stated, we've already covered this. Dude, all you did was just take your original video and just re-edited it and put new stuff in it with the same audio clip, dude. But again, if you really want to go through this shit again, let's do this again. You've done it, 3 times now? 3 different edits of the same video. That's sorry, dude. May I refrain from using a word that people don't like? Maybe I won't. That's retarded, mate. That's being retarded. Using the same video more than once with just different backdrops. dude. Anyway, but back to that, answering that question. What is this? That looks like a rock, yeah? A standard, everyday, generic rock. But what happens when I do this? Ting, 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 ting. And then what I did at the actual place was actually get like some of the buzz saw and go cut the rock in half, and look at what we got inside. A lovely geode, right? Again, dude, the point I'm making here is you never know what's inside a rock. There could be something inside a rock, or in other cases, you may find absolutely nothing. But when you find even in the absence of nothing inside a rock, let me show you something rather interesting in that. If I can find it. Just give me a second. I put all these back. Just give me a second. That's not it, not it, not it. Where are you? That's not it. This is probably this one, or it's this one. Is it this one? Nope, that's DNA. Right, here's something I found rather interesting. Right, dude. When a rock was cut open, wait a minute, I need to actually wet it, sorry, because you won't be able to see it properly unless I wet it. Even if you cut open a normal rock, you'll even get to see an interesting core thing inside as well, like a mud core. At least that's even interesting as well. Okay, it may not be a fossil, but it's still interesting to see like this almost like impression of another rock inside a rock. Yeah, I think I cut this one open a long time ago, and we get to see the impression of a rock inside a rock. I mean, I think there was another one I had of that too, but I may have sold that. But yeah, a rock inside a rock. That's pretty cool. The impression of a rock inside a rock. You know? And again, back to this thing here with the bone that looks like a rock too. That thing as well. Rather interesting, isn't it? I should get that tested to see if it's actually a fossil or not. I don't know. But, you know, all those things. You know, a rock can look like a rock, right? Even this one here, this thing here, right? This thing even almost looks a bit like an egg too. I don't know if I cut this open. I don't know if I'll find a dinosaur embryo inside. I wouldn't know. There could be a frog inside here. There could be anything inside here. There might be even just another circle of dust and rock in there. I don't know what's in it until I cut it open and find out. I'm willing to love the shape of it as is. But the point I'm making, dude, is you never know what's inside a rock until you cut it open. Right? So even some of the rocks you normally would find in a garden setting, you don't know what it is. It could be a geode, or it could be a fossil inside one of those rocks that you find in the garden. Who knows, mate? You know, you never know until you actually find a rock that looks a bit interesting and cut it open to find out what's inside it. You never know, dude. So I also want you to do that, dude. Go out into your local rock garden of yours at home, or you find a rock, a big massive rock deep down from digging out in the garden. Go find that, pick that up, brush it all off, clean it, and go take that to a gem and mineral club. Get them to cut it open and see what's inside. You might be surprised to find what's inside. It might be nothing, or it might be something. You know, you never know, mate. You might find something rather interesting. And even if it's not a fossil inside, it might just be like a little core circle of a rock inside. But still, very interesting. Or you might find a geode. Who knows, dude? You never know what you might find inside some of the rocks around your home, right? You never know.
Discoveries seem not to be made by disinterested people like farmers, hikers, military personnel, miners, construction
Here
workers,
we go
sellers.
again. Oh my God. Just because you repeat the same dogma and shit over and over again doesn't make it a fact. Okay. Back to the point. Right, that does it. Give me a second, shall I? Right, that does it, dude. You pissed me off. You've officially pissed me off, dude. Right. Have a look at this, you sodomite. Let me show you something. Now, of course, this is a woolly mammoth. It's not actually a dinosaur. It's a prehistoric animal. But here's another thing that might interest you, whet your appetite, dude. Check this out.
In Michigan when he thought he hit a fence. Finally tonight, a farmer who just would not give up, digging in his field in Michigan when he thought he hit a fence post. Turns out he found a window back to the Ice Age. Here's ABC's John Donvan with the archaeological treasure.
When the crane first starts lifting, it doesn't really look like much, but now you see it? How about now? Of course, it helps to imagine what it used to look like, which would have been something like this. So this woolly mammoth, minus the wall, it turned up in a field where some drains were being placed to grow soybeans by farmer James Brisley.
Yeah, right where we're standing, right here. Right.
Laying down some drains, he hit the bones and called the University of Michigan, letting them come out and pull it all out of there.
It's been overwhelming for me to have this many people out here.
The rules say the farmer gets to keep it if he wants.
We're hoping that it's going to end up in a museum.
While the University of Michigan scientist, he's already got some theories.
It was an adult male, probably in its 40s at the time of its death, probably lived between 10,000 and 15,000 years ago.
And that puts humans here in prehistoric Michigan those same 10 to 15,000 years ago, because the theory is also that the dead mammoth was hunted by humans and that they stored it in a pond, holding it down by these three rocks as an anchor to keep it refrigerated, basically. Soon enough, it's all going to be soybeans again here, but it's going to be hard not to wonder what else is under that soybean surface. John Donvan, ABC News.
So there's that. So there's that one there. And this hello shagger. Anyway, there's that. But also, what else do we have? We had that one. All right, here's another one. Now, of course, again, this isn't really a dinosaur. This is actually a marine reptile, but still goes on the same point of what I'm getting at about the farmers finding fossils, okay? Here we go. And this guy's from Australia, by the way. Found that. I think known as a Chronosaurus, part of the mosasaur line, if I remember correctly. A marine reptile.
I saw something shining about 20 metres away, kicked a few stones around and looked a little bit further, and then I thought, oh God, I have come across something here.
There you go. Now, this is a marine reptile that lived in the same period as dinosaur. It's not actually a dinosaur, it's a marine reptile. There you go. Fits along like a mosasaur and a elasmosaurus.
He was most excited, especially when he did realise that it was something of real significance to come across something like this. Well,
so there you go. That was found in a farmer's field. What else? Remember, we're trying to find actually a dinosaur that's actually found. This one's found in China, but I don't touch anything near China. We also have this one here. Here we go. Here we go. You said nothing about mines. Well, check this out, dude. Read it and weep. This is from the Smithsonian. Subscribe to the Smithsonian. Here we go, guys. Again, Smithsonian, I hope you guys don't mind if I borrow your internet. Please do not strike my video because I'm trying to prove you guys right about dinosaurs. Just give me a second.
The bucket scoop holds about 100 tons. Slabs were coming down the face of the bank that I was digging in, and those slabs were like something before. We knew we had found a fossil of some sort, but right away I knew it was something different.
Yeah, he found something. Meanwhile, back in Alberta, Canada, they had a bunch of scientific researchers.
We got a call from the Suncor mining company. They knew they had something interesting, but they had no idea what it was. We had to get up there as soon as possible to see what it is, how big is it, and what is it going to take to get it out of the ground.
Again, take note, the researcher was called out to the rock quarry, right? Was called out to the quarry or this miner's place, right? The mining town.
The team takes a closer look at the exposed section of the fossil.
There we go.
Right away, we knew it was going to be something good, but we had no idea how good it was going to be.
They clear away the rock around the fossil.
There you go.
To protect it, they encase what's left of the body and surrounding sediment in plaster.
There you go.
So we had it isolated as a single chunk, and then that's what we thought we could lift out.
Yeah, then an accident happened. An accident accidentally snapped in half. There we go. I don't know if this is a reenactment or just Shit.
She only just started to move the dirt and she let go.
Yeah, she didn't take much pressure.
At the time, it was gut-wrenching.
But again, this goes to prove, though, dude, that sometimes some of these fiberglass and plaster molds, you can see there's a bit of like from the almost looks a bit like fiberglass thing there. I don't know, but from this mold, right, from this plaster cast fiberglassy mold stuff, right. The fact of the matter is, it didn't hold and it broke, and all the fossil stuff broke inside it. So again, back to this point, you're saying that they actually make the mold on site. They use the mold from this thing to create the dinosaur. That's not always the case, right? They actually cast once they get the thing back, they clean all that stuff off and then make a brand new mold based on that, not using the original plaster mold. If the original plaster mold does have some sort of impression in it, they must seriously doubt it. Because if you look inside here from the plaster mold, there's a lot of mud, excrement, and dirt and stuff in there that wouldn't be very viable to use it again, even to make a cast of a mold. But anyway, let's jump ahead. So they go back to the lab
at the Royal Tyrrell Museum, where a crack team gets to work. Paleotechnician Mark Mitchell carefully chips away at the surrounding rock, identifying pieces and slowly reassembling them. After 6 years of painstaking work, the Royal Tyrrell Museum in Drumheller, Alberta, unveils its rare and astonishing discovery.
There you go, and they eventually get this sort of fossilized ankylosaur-looking thing from it. It took them a lot of hours to clean that stuff and get all the crap off it, but when they finally did, they got that. So there you go. Boom. So there you go, dude. That's how that was done. Anyway, sorry, paying attention. No, not right now. I'm doing this other segment right now. Do it? No. Sorry, guys. I'm not coming over yet. I'm talking about this dinosaur business, then I'll get back to you guys later. Just give me a minute and a half, and we'll finish this, and then I'll do that, maybe. All right, let's get back to this thing so I can finish this up, guys, and then I'll address you guys in a minute. Well, it is what it is, dude. I don't care. Anyway, back to business. Yeah, I'll do that in a bit, guys. I'll go have a look in a minute. I'm busy here first. Anyway, let's go back to this, shall we?
Or laying down pipes, but rather by people with a special interest, like paleontologists, scientists, university professors, and museum employees, who are actively seeking dinosaur bones, or who have studied dinosaurs previously. Discoveries are often made in connection with special dinosaur bone hunting trips.
Okay. About how dinosaurs breed. There's even a fossil thing where they actually found two Tyrannosaurs together mating, and they show how it's actually done. Look, dudes, I don't want to sound rude, but the dinosaurs had a long peen, right? So they could easily have gone around not over the top like this, but have one dinosaur lay on its back and have the other one come on top. That's a possibility as well. Or if the thing's long enough, they could just stand right next to it or something, with the tail, tail coming aside. There's many different ways of dinosaurs mating. Again, if you really want to look it up, you can go look it up. But just be careful because you may even find porn sites when you go look this shit up. Just be aware of that. But again, the concept, though, is it's not like somebody's lying. It's the concept of it can be done, but not in the way you think like this. This is only rudimentary, only two-dimensional thinking. You're not thinking three-dimensional. You're only thinking two-dimensional, dude. But then again, coming from a flat earther, that doesn't really go debunk that either.
The following quotes are from an article from the Natural History Museum in the state of Wisconsin in the USA.
Yep.
The article is called "A Fossils Trail from Excavation to Exhibit" and covers the conservation of fossils and bones. It is written by
and while we're here about this meme saying that oil was made from decomposed dinosaurs and plastic is made from oil, hence that these things are real dinosaurs. Let me tell you something about that. No, fossil fuel or fossil oil is not made from dinosaur fossils. It's made from prehistoric plant vegetation and I'm trying to think of it, like seaweed kind of stuff, like seaweed and like I said, a lot of bacteria stuff. It's made from a lot more fossilized stuff, from decomposing plants mainly. It's mainly coming from fossil plants more than it's coming from dinosaurs, right? Anyway, back to business.
Bone and fossil inspector for Milwaukee Public Museum, Rolf Johnson. GVE News has tracked Rolf Johnson to his current position as paleontological head of education for the state of Virginia. An attempt has since been made to remove the article from the internet, but GVE News has discovered an exact copy of the online version, which also exists in print. Quote, "Most of the curious visitors are only dimly aware of the road taken by paleontologists in their search through the fossil record." In the article, Rolf Johnson tells of his first day.
Okay. Let me tell you something. Not all animals that were around the same time as the dinosaurs, some animals did not actually evolve. Some stayed as is, according to evolution. But anyway.
Day of working with these bones. Quote, "My romantic image had to be slightly modified when I finally saw the crates full of crumbling and broken bones, each one wrapped in a protective plastic field jacket, the whole lot looking like so many arms and legs from a broken bone seminar. Like many people, I was naive regarding what a fossil might look like, or what state it might be in prior to seeing it in the theatrical setting of painted murals and museum exhibits. Fossil vertebrate remains are generally broken, often..."
Okay, I'm debating, Sassy, I'm debating the guy who made this video about the dinosaurs, right? This douchebag made the stuff about dinosaurs, so I'm reviewing and debating his video, okay?
Crushed and distorted, fragmentary, and usually incomplete. He continues, "It is truly the uncommon or rare specimen that is, exhibit quality. Through mold making and casting, we can totally fabricate limbs, ribs, vertebrae, etc. for the missing pieces of an articulated skeletal mount. Plaster, fiberglass, and epoxies are often and commonly used. In reconstruction work on single bones, small to large cracks can be filled in with mache or plaster mixed with dextrin, a starch that imparts an adhesive quality and extra hardness to regular molding plaster. We've also had success using epoxy putties. Large missing fragments can be sculpted directly in place with these same materials. If one conducts a simple Google search for dinosaur and bones, the result numbers several thousand websites. Pictures from museums of large, beautiful dinosaur skeletons appear in brownish red and sometimes snow-white colors, with a touch of having been buried in the ground for decades. But if one were to change direction, instead for information about dinosaur replica bones, the results would have a
dude, like I said, do a readout, an audio thing. Read this book out, dude. Or if anyone has this book, please send it to me because I'd love to have a read of this book. But again, dude, about this whole idea about the dinosaur, basically dinosaurs not being real and being just chicken bones. Dude, like I said, do a readout, do an audio, an audio book version of this, and do it, and talk about what you're talking about, because you're not sharing all the stuff you're actually talking about from this thing, dude. You're not. Anyway, Eric, continue.
Markedly different character. Semi-professional and professional fossil and bone manufacturers talk openly about the ease with which these fakes are produced. For example, www.trexskulls.com, where all manner of fake bones can be ordered.
Yeah?
Or look at www.dinosaucorporation.com/dinosaurskulls.html, where even more can be found. In 1999, National Geographic magazine was busted when they presented, in a colorful and fancily presented article, The Missing Link, an Archaeoraptor dinosaur, which was supposed to support the basic tenet of evolutionary theory, that dinosaurs had slowly developed over millions of years.
Yeah.
Their proof consisted
all right. That was debunked, yes. The whole idea of Archaeoraptor was debunked. Yes, okay, I get that. However, that being said, again, the actual some paleontologists came forward and said, no, this is fake. It's actually been, if you look at it, it's been cracked and really, really badly cracked. And it's been spliced together in China. As again, like I say before, and I'll say again, when it comes to Chinese things, most cases, when it comes to bootlegs, they're very good at bootlegging things and faking things. So again, this idea of this sort of Archaeoraptor / sort of Archaeopteryx looking thing turned out to be fraudulent because they grafted the bottom end of a Archaeopteryx with the headpiece of a Velociraptor or something to that effect.
Fossil, where carefully arranged bone imprints gave the impression of a creature half dinosaur and half bird. The scam was discovered during a CT scan, which uncovered unnatural bone links. National Geographic magazine was later forced to admit, when pressured, that the fossil was man-made. For 116 years, the fake ichthyosaur dinosaur hung in the hall of the National Museum of Wales.
But it's not fake. The ichthyosaur is not a fake. Whatever. Continue, douchebag. Let's go.
In spite of more than 100 years of revolutions in the field of paleontology, the museum finally came clean after criticism from independent researchers, thanks to the internet, who had publicly revealed that the fossil, which had supposedly been found in 1809, was man-made.
Oh, really?
It had previously, in 1884, graced the home of a very rich businessman.
All right, whatever you reckon.
Hadrosaurus folki, or simply Hadrosaurus, was the first dinosaur to be publicly displayed. It is also an official symbol of the state of New Jersey.
Nice.
What few Americans are aware of, however, is that its skull caused big problems for the museum director and the leading paleontologists, because there was no skull.
Oh, really?
the skull being the main evidence for the existence of this creature. A visual and a sculptural artist were promptly hired to invent a skull, and from the illustrations of another artist who had depicted the iguanodon, the two artists drew the same face for the Hadrosaurus volki. The people involved could now technically defend the existence of this dinosaur. If someone were to ask, the stunt worked out so and fooled the public so thoroughly that they could later change the head of the creature to that of both the Gripposaurus and the Brachiosaurus without anyone noticing. By complicating the constructed hypothesis process, the paleontological approach, no one would dare question the paleontologist's technical knowledge. To this day, Hadrosaurus volki is on display at the Academy of Natural Sciences in Philadelphia.
Rightio.
The bones are said to be kept behind heavy closed doors, but a plaster copy is exhibited in their place.
Yeah.
China is a major producer of bones and fossils.
Here we go.
Zigong Dino Ocean Art Company Limited, in the state of Sichuan, is a major supplier to the natural history museums all over the world. On its website, the firm writes, "Over 62% of our output goes to American and European markets, which means we will understand and are familiar with the intricacies and regulations."
Oh, so you're not saying that anymore, are ya? Interesting. See, this dude said originally, ladies and gentlemen, this guy said that these dinosaurs were originally animal bones ground up and put in the molds of dinosaurs. Now he's backtracking that. Unless you're going to bring that up again, dude, or you're just going to leave it as is. Let's see. Let's find out, shall we?
Of exporting to these regions. Since we are a partner of dinosaur museums, so all products are made under the guidance of experts of the Chinese Academy of Sciences. We have gained a global sales network reaching the USA, Brazil, France, Poland, Russia, Germany, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Thailand, Indonesia, etc. Exhibited in Peru, Argentina,
and
Vancouver,
just so you know, dude, I've actually reached out to that company. I'm going to find out that bullshit you said about them using real bones and ground them up and put them into dinosaur molds. I've asked them about that, and I'm going to hopefully get a reply from them and find out what the hell's going on about that bullshit. Right?
Chicago, and other places. General instructions for the manufacturing fossils can be found online.
Rightio.
Chicken, frog, dog, cat, horse, and pig's bones are used as fossil materials.
Right, where are you? Where are the photos, dude? You haven't shown
mixed
them.
With glue, resin, and plaster,
Prove
and can
it.
then, if desired, be glued to a plate.
All
Fractures in the
Show
fossil
it then.
give it a natural look. These fractures are purposefully made and then repaired repeatedly to achieve the right effect. Even professors of paleontology have started to wonder. Alan Fiducia, professor of paleontology at the University of North Carolina, stated, "I have heard there is a fake fossil factory in northeast China, in Liaoning province, near the deposits where many of these recent alleged feather dinosaurs were found."
Yeah,
In
so I'm going to
conclusion,
ask them about it.
1. A complete dinosaur skeleton has never been found. 2.
Bullshit.
No independent researcher has seen a real dinosaur skull. 3.
Bullshit.
The paleontological scientific approach is built on hypotheses, while it is presented as natural science with an objective approach. 4. Children are taught the existence of dinosaurs through cartoons, not through bone inspection at school. 5. Only
I disagree. I disagree. There has been cases, dude, where some people have come in with some dinosaur fossils into schools and shown them off. Yes, that has happened, dude. It's part of some. We had, what was it? I'm trying to think. There was like a type of thing we had around here. Some sort of research facility that did do that. Take some fossils in to show to people. Yeah, they did do that. They do that, dude. But most of the ones that they show to kids are replicas, again, because the risk of them getting broken or stolen. But anyway, continue.
In the paleontological field, seem to find dinosaur bones. Dinosaurs
No, not
are yet
necessarily.
another fictitious reality, exactly like the self-invented psychiatric diagnoses. This all leaves us with numerous fundamental questions.
All right.
Hi,
and
everyone.
Hello. At least that character's a little bit more entertaining than this.
Welcome to my Doomsday Last Survivors vlog.
Okay. And so he ends. Okay. And so we end part 2. Or basically part 3. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I might come and see you guys and see what you guys are talking about over there. I might come and see what you guys are talking about, Trish and Sass and all you guys. I might come over there now and see what you guys are talking about. All right, so I'll wrap this up and I'll head over to you guys and see what you guys are talking about. All right, then. I'll come over and see what's happening. We'll see. Well, at least I think I might come over. I don't know, because I might have to... wait a minute. Wait a minute. I need to see... Because I can't see proper on my thingy-goog here. Just give me a second. Okay, there you go. Oh, hello. Your stream got taken down, Trish. Trish. Anyway. Do a re-upload, guys. Anyway. So I'll end this stream. Yeah, sure thing. Like I said, you have to restart your stream because your stream got taken down. You're going to have to end your live stream and start a new one, Trish. Anyway, so again, wrapping this one up, or if you want, I can start, guys, Shagger and you guys, if you guys want me to start another live stream on my channel here, so you guys hopefully won't get barred or something, I can do that on my channel here too. If you guys want to come over on another live stream, I can do in a few minutes if that's what you want. But yeah, Trish, your stream got taken down. I just saw it just a minute ago. Your stream got taken. I hate when people do that or YouTube do that. They take your stream down for no reason. Anyway, back to this thing, wrapping this up. So that's Christians Against Dinosaurs, Eric Dubay debate part 2. And we're sort of wrapping this one up here. And then part 3 is his final about his dinosaur subject. So anyway, I think we'll wrap this up now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Wrapping this up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, talk to you guys later.